breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Do it one more time. In and out. Okay. And I want you to say these words with me. This is my season.
This is my season.
There's more to my life.
There's more to my life.
And it's time to shift.
And it's time to shift.
And I am an extraordinary woman.
And I am an extraordinary woman.
I am not ordinary.
I am not ordinary.
I am sent on divine purpose.
I am sent on divine purpose.
I am chosen and set apart.
I am chosen and set apart.
I am the exception to the rule.
And I am the exception to the
Thank you
rule.
so much for coming to my course. Yes, it is. And let me just say this. She did introduce me. My name is, once again, Crystal Cunningham. When I'm speaking, I like conversation. I think it's better when there's conversation. So I don't just talk at you. I like to have conversation, okay? And with that being said, I want to ask your permission. Can I be authentic? Can I just be Crystal?
Yes.
Can I just be me? Thank you so much. And just so you know, extraordinary women they're definitely, they have x-ray vision. They see beyond their fears, beyond their tears, beyond their struggles. And she is a bold, beautiful, brave woman who is willing to stand in her power and also allow her voice to be heard, okay? So I know you come here this afternoon for the session, How to Reinvent Yourself. Well, let me just tell you a little bit about me, okay? Just so you kind of get a little bit of understanding, a little background on this young lady that's standing here before you. Well, at 16, I decided to run away from home. Okay, I decided to leave home because my house was very chaotic. It was very dysfunctional, a lot of violence going on in it. And I chose to take a leap out and leave my support system, which was my family, and take a chance on the unknown. With that being said, wound up getting married at a young age, wound up having a baby at a young age, experienced everything from rape, being homeless, domestic violence, and also drug abuse, okay? And that went on for about, maybe about 12 and a half years. So from 16 to 28, I was experiencing this lifestyle of an adult instead of a teenager, okay? At 28, I decided one morning, after being on a 4-day binge, if you don't know what that means I was getting high for exactly 4 days, nonstop, okay? Like I said, I'm gonna be authentic in here because you have to hear my story. After 4 days, still trying to do my thing, one particular morning, I decided, I was like, okay, I still needed some more. So I went into my bathroom, and as I went into my bathroom, you know, to try to freshen up and get myself together to go back out again, how crazy is that, but that's what I was doing. The mirror was there. The mirror is what saved my life. The mirror, believe it or not, a mirror. I stood there, and as I was trying to wash my face, I was trying to wash away what I was looking at. And I couldn't wash away what I was seeing in this mirror. I was like, oh my gosh. And the more and more I kept looking into the mirror, the more it was pulling me in, and it was speaking my truth. Because I had been hiding from it through the addiction. That's all it is. Addiction is nothing but a cover-up from what's really going on, just in case you don't know that. So when you see people that are struggling with drug abuse, alcohol, addiction is not just drugs and alcohol. It's more. It's social media now. It's sex. It's food. It's gossiping. It's the way you think. If you're thinking negative, it's constantly, it's something you're doing habitually, okay? And I chose to handle my reality through narcotics. That's how I chose to handle my life and my reality. With that being said, as I was standing there looking in the mirror this particular morning, I was like, oh my gosh, like, where's Crystal? What happened to her? Where is she? Now, mind you, I left home at 16, so for 12 years, this was what I was seeing. All of the abuse. I was seeing the hurt. I was seeing the rejection. I was looking at the shame. I was looking at death. I was looking at suicide. I was looking at tiredness. My eyes were so dark. My skin was so messed up. Sunken cheekbones. I did not look like the same. Believe it or not, I was 100 pounds less than what I am today. Okay? And when I'm standing there looking in the mirror and I'm trying to find out who this person is, because I never took the time out to look in the mirror. I didn't want to look at my situation. I didn't want to look at my life. But that particular morning was the morning that everything changed. Everything changed. When it comes to reinventing yourself, the first thing you must do is make a decision. You need to write that down. Make a decision. Make a decision. Make the decision. And because I didn't know anybody that had experienced any of this stuff that I have been dealing with, nobody could identify with me. There was no one in my circle to help me. No matter what, there was nobody there. So I thought. But there was somebody. And I remember God placing, I guess, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know him, but there was someone that was in my space. And I chose to reach out to him. And when I made the decision to reach out to him, he actually gave me a way out. He shifted me into my direction that I needed to go in to change my life. But the first thing I needed to do was I needed to make the decision. And I needed to see that I was important. That's what reinventing. The first thing is you have to see that you matter. That you matter. For so long, I was trying to live my life for everyone else. And I couldn't. So you have to make you a priority in your life. Nobody else is going to do that for you. You have to be the one to say, you know what, as of now, I am number one. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to get me where I need to be. No matter whether my friends, my family likes it, they don't like it anymore, so what? I have to cut them off. And believe it or not, I had to let my family go. I had to leave them alone. And matter of fact, they lived about 3 blocks down the street from me. That was a hard decision, but it was the best decision I made. Not saying I wouldn't eventually go back around them, but for the moment where I needed just time for myself, I had to do that. And it helped me. Because as I kept looking at my daughter and I was looking at my children, I was saying, okay, I am a mother of 2, just in case you don't know it. I'm a mother of 2. Today I'm currently a mother of 2 with 2 grandchildren. God has been good to me. Okay? I didn't want that anymore for them. I didn't want it for myself. Well, I want you to know the most important thing that I'm going to say to you today when it comes to reinventing yourself is that you are your why. You are your why. Everything must start with you and end with you. It has to. Because when you try to do things for other people, it doesn't last. It doesn't last. I tried that for years. I was trying to get myself together for years, and it just didn't last. But once I made me the priority, once I looked at myself in the mirror that day, once I said, you know what, I had enough, everything changed. And here I am 21 years later, I don't even know what that life looked like. You wouldn't even be able to tell if I didn't open up my mouth. There is no residue of my old lifestyle at all. God has changed every single thing about my life. But I had to make the decision. to go in a different direction, to move in another direction, to detach myself from familiar people, places, things, and conversations. A lot of times we say those three things, people, places, and things, but I have to add another one. It's conversation. I had to eliminate the conversation that I was having within myself. You have to start new conversations. Have a new conversation. Every day I got up and I said something to myself that made me feel good about me, that moved me in the direction that I wanted to go. I dropped out of high school at 16. I had no degree. I had nothing. I was making $4.75 as a home health aide in New York City. Nobody can make it in New York City on $4.75. I don't even know. It was nobody but the grace of God. I was doing some things to add on to it, but I was like, okay, you can't make it like this. I wanted to change my life. So then my story starts from there. Fast forward 6 months after having some sobriety, having some time up underneath my belt, God had blessed me with a job. Started to be a temp at the phone company. I walked in there, didn't know where I was going that particular morning. I walked into this company, and I wound up being there for 19 years. I just recently left the company on March 22nd to pursue entrepreneurship full-time this year, 2019. It was a decision. They didn't force me out. I took it. God was opening up a door, and I shifted. But I couldn't do that if I couldn't hear from God. I had to know his voice. I had to know his voice. And in 19 years, they've been good to me. I worked at Verizon Wireless, which is one of the top phone companies in the world. Y'all know that, okay? They raised me up. They helped me. Let me tell you how good God is. And I'm just going to give you what he's telling me to give you right now today. Because see, sometimes I come on, I'll be having my own agenda, but today he has an agenda for you. So I'm going to be obedient and give you what you need instead of what I really like. This paper, I can't do that right now. So let me just flow. When I say be authentic, let me just flow with the spirit that I abide by. Okay? When 19 years being in this career, I didn't know. See, this is how God will do for you. And I want you to really catch this. I went in there as a temp. 2 months later, because I was diligent, because I was still fighting against, I was like, I don't care. I didn't have no money to get to work half the time. I didn't have nothing, but I was determined to stay at this job. It was good, I could tell it, right? And my boss, he noticed that, guess what? I was a really good employee. So he recommended me for a position to become permanent. Recommended me. Here it is, 19 years later. I worked in the retail stores in New York City. I wound up being the customer service, then I was elevated to becoming their inventory control specialist, running at 3 locations in New York, in Westchester, in White Plains, New York, and Yonkers, New York, and Nanuet. Those are 3 locations I got to myself. There was nobody else doing it. God trusted me. He was also preparing me. He was preparing me. So I want you to see where you at. Don't take it lightly when you're working or whatever it is that you're doing. Because it's working for your good. Okay? As I got in there and doing inventory I'm talking about this major company. I'm running their distribution. I'm the only one doing the merchandise. I'm the only one. Now, they trusted me. I did tell y'all I got high, right? Yeah. I did tell y'all I used to do some things, right? But he trusted me. Yeah. And he knew that I would not be doing anything that I didn't have no business doing while I was there. But what I did do every day, I was diligent and I was disciplined. And what I also was hungry to learn. And I took everything I could from that position, from those people, and I learned. And he said, let me show you something, Crystal. I put you in a position. Yes, you did drop out of high school. Yes, that did happen to you. And most people in here, you probably went to college, right? But you had to pay for it. But he put me in a job where they paid me and they gave me the education. Now that's the God that I serve. I don't know about the God that you serve, but that's the God that I serve. He He said, I'll do that for you. And I said, oh my goodness, when I started to really think about it, like really look at the 19 years. Then after that, he put me in corporate. Then I went into leadership, where I'm actually leading a team of 12 and 13 employees up underneath my belt, where I get to sit and talk with these women and men to help them elevate their careers, move them on if they want to move, or make them the best, be the best where they were at, because it was something that God had put me there, and I maximized it. And this is where things started to shift. This is where things started to get a little funky. I was in New York, and I went to work one day, and there was rumors, because I had been a new employee up in the call center in corporate where I was at. And there had been rumors that they were going to relocate. Well, I was like, well, this is rumors that's been going on for years. I guess it'd be no big difference. But when I went to work one day, it was true. It happened. They called us out of our positions. They was like, hang up the phone, come to this meeting. After about 20 minutes, it was like they had police there, they had the fire department. The reason why is because people got very emotional, and they did give us the termination. They was like, all right, we are relocating. Either you can come to North Carolina or you can leave the company. Well, I decided, not really knowing God, I had just became a believer. So, if you're not a believer here, I totally get that, but I'm just gonna tell you my story as a believer, okay? I went home. I made the decision to come visit Wilmington, North Carolina, where we were relocating. Went down there, decided, okay, it's fine, I'm gonna go. Me and my daughter, we left. And mind you, I didn't have no family, no friends, no nothing. But I knew it was time to go. I knew it was time to go. Something in my gut was saying it's time to go. I had 5 years with my family. It was like God said, I gave them time back with you. That was it. I know you was gone all those years, but I gave it back. I restored that. I gave you that. That's it. And when I left, it was the best thing I could have did. After that, I've been there for 16 years. It will be 16 years it was 16 years this August. But when I relocated, my daughter wound up graduating from NC State University. Didn't I just tell y'all what my life used to be? Yes. What? Like that? Yes. Now here it is. My daughter's graduating. My son's graduating from college. He's a police officer. She's now getting ready to go off and do her own. This is what come out of this lineage. Yeah. I made a decision to shift. You got to be able to make the decision to shift and move. Move in another direction. However, when he brought me there, it gave him time, it gave God time to isolate me. Some of y'all don't like being by yourself. You're afraid to be by yourself. I always had to have a man. Not really noticing it, but they would always be there. So if they was there, I was like, okay, no problem. Okay, we good. But once he separated me and he put me in this little town, about that big, it gave him an opportunity to do the work in me. Yeah. And get those things out of me that needed to be removed. During that course of time, which is now, just fast forward a little bit, about 4 years ago, I started to hear it's time to go within my company. And I was like, oh, I think I'm just going to relocate one more time. I'll just go move to another state. I'll do it now. The company's not moving because I work with a global company, so you can go wherever you want to. You just got to put a transfer in. That's it. But he was like, no, that ain't what I got for you. I said, I want you out of here. I'm going to move you out of here. And I just want to point something out to you. Right before you get a message, fear is going to be standing there at the door too. Okay? So the warning was, to me, do not be afraid when I take you off that job. He had to tell me, don't be afraid first, and you're moving. And then he said, you won't go empty. I said, I won't go empty. Because I was like, at this point, I was willing to go. I was like, you know what? I knew I have outgrown the space. So I'm going to ask some of y'all, where are you at, and do you see yourself growing or decaying? Are you growing or are you decaying? I heard that for myself. Do you know what a tooth looks like when it's decaying? No, I really want you to really kind of peep this out, because a tooth, when it's decaying, it still looks good on the outside. It's the thing that's going on the inside that, guess what, is eating away at you. So the question I have for you today is, are you fulfilled where you at? Do you find yourself being purposeful where you're at? That's something for you to think about. And be honest with yourself. Be honest with you. See, I had to get honest with me. I was like, Krista, you've outgrown this space. And I was like, but this is what I've done all my life now. 19 years, I don't know what else. But I didn't realize, guess what, God was calling me to speak to women prior. I was doing women empowerment sessions. I was already doing coaching at work. I was already speaking when they needed me to speak. I was doing trainings. I was like, okay. He was like, tell your story. I was like, we're not doing that. Okay? We can do anything else, but I ain't telling no people my story. Now I'll do anything else. But he was like, nope. And it wasn't until I heard a message, an email I got one morning that said, it's time to tell your story. And it was like screaming at me. And I had no choice. Because what I realized, it may be nothing that the speakers are saying to you today. Our story doesn't belong to us. It belongs to you. Your story don't belong to you either. It belongs to someone else. Somebody else needs to see this. That, guess what? I was at one time broken and bruised and busted, and I was, a hurt young lady. But look at me now. You got to come give hope to the world of the hopeless. This is what it's about. So right now, today, the question is, are you really being fulfilled where you at? Is it really time for you to shift? And I love it because I was just in a session with Dr. Sandra too, and just listening. And I'll just be honest with y'all, especially if you're believers in here, do not say you got to pray another time, because I know you heard. I know you heard. He sent me here to tell you, you heard him. And you heard him well. Write it down. Write it down what he told you to do. And do not leave this year without doing it. 2019. Do not. Because you know what? You say you love your family, right? Who loves their family? No. I hope that's recorded. They did not answer. Oh my God. Sometimes okay, no, don't worry about that. Do you love your kids? If you got kids?
Yes.
Do you love your husband?
Yes.
Do you love yourself?
Yes.
Why would you not do it then? Why would you not? You matter. You are the most important thing. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. The world was telling me that I didn't matter. Before that hashtag I didn't matter movement came on, the world has been saying that to all of us. I don't care what skin color you are. Somewhere they're saying, the world has been saying, somebody has given you a message that you don't matter, but you matter. Look at how things have changed. It's time for you to shift. You can reinvent yourself over and over and over again. Today, I have been sent to give you permission. If you did not hear it, you have permission to reinvent yourself today. You have permission to shift and do something different. So you've been asking and saying, I'm waiting for the answer. This is why you don't need to pray anymore. Some of you need to find out exactly instructions, and that's where I want to help you. Really knowing, okay, what's the vision? What's the plan? How do we execute it? Here it is now that I've been a parallel entrepreneur for 2 years. Wrote my first book, got my coaching clients, doing speaking engagements, plus working my job. But God just said, I want you out now because I need you to be out here full time doing what it is that I'm telling you to do. So I would love to work with a lot of you women in here. I do have an offer. It's on your table. It's here. It's called The Shift. If you want to get with me, if you want me to help you move into another direction where you have clarity, you need clarity and you need the confidence, I am your woman. I am your girl. I know that for sure. I'm the evidence. I'm the evidence. You can't get it no better than this. I was 12 and a half years stuck on the streets.
Jesus.
12 and a half years. I got 21 years clean. Changed my whole life. Making money now. Traveling the world. Bought my own house. 9 cars. Send my kids off to college. I don't have the husband he hasn't came to the door yet, but I told him the address is such. So he on his way. He just said, the bus ride is taking a little bit longer. Well, I'm here to tell you that this is really your time. That's what the Lord has sent me to tell you today. That this is your season. This is your time, and there is more to your life. Is there any questions or that you might have for me? Are we? Is there any question? Okay.
I have a friend that doesn't live with me. She's young. I say young, like early 30s. And she's battling with a similar story. And though I'm battle tested, everybody's not battle tested in the same area. How do you, because she looks to me, but I can't speak to that thing, I can only give her encouragement. How do you help somebody, not make somebody, help somebody shift or recommend them to help because they're reaching out? How do you provide exhortation or encouragement that channels the need to shift because they want it? That's why they're seeking to help out. But you may not be the person to give it to them. How do you help them make the next step to seek out the help?
Well, you really have to do like I did. I had to reach out to somebody that had the expert, that had already experienced it and grew in it and knows it. So you would really want to get them connected to someone like myself. That's if you're not the one, then you're not the one.
Right.
And sometimes family and friends, we don't like to listen to each other. It's just like kids. Kids don't listen to the parents. But if auntie comes over, she say the same thing. Guess what? You'll be like, man, right? Like, why she? Because it's just that it's just what it is. Sometimes our relationships, my relationship with my mother was not good at all. I didn't have a relationship with my mother until I turned 40. Did I be in her presence? Yes. But we didn't have any conversation, no bond, and she knew nothing really about Crystal. Mm-hmm. I knew nothing about her really, besides what everybody else talked about. And that was another issue. One of the reasons why I left home at 16. Because I didn't have a relationship with my parents. My siblings, now they did, but I didn't. And that was what I was yearning for. And that's why I became promiscuous and looking for love in all the wrong places and getting with people that I shouldn't have been with. And doing those things, trying to find something, the attention, wanted to feel validated, needed that confirmation, that you're okay, that you're doing the daggone thing. Okay? So I really recommend, because that's not your expertise, that's not your thing, don't try it. You have to lead them where they need to be. And I just heard something which is so funny because we say, what's the saying, that you can lead a horse to the water but you can't make him drink it? Yes, you can, because guess what? If you give them bits are salty and it makes them want to drink.
That's the word. That's the word.
It makes them want to drink. Okay? So I'm going to ask that we all stand and do a group picture really quick because my time is up. Thank you so